What's up, guys? This is the Gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you what's on my mind. And as always, I want to start it off by thanking everyone who likes, everyone who shares, everyone who subscribes and hits the notification bell, and everyone who comments. I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much. Anyway, guys, I want to share this article with you before I do whatever it is that I'm off to do next. It seems like I'm always running all over the place. And of course, I'm going to go pick up my son. It's what I'm always doing. But I just got home from work not too long ago, got that shower, feeling real good. And I just want to share this article because, as we know, this week that bullshit story came out about Russian bots and, you know, who was it? The dude who did the study is Morton Day. You know, it's all ridiculous. But it didn't take long for everyone to jump on this thing. I saw an article the other day talking about how Russian bots targeted Kelly Marie Tran. Yes, I guess we all knew this. That poor girl. Now she's being targeted by Russian bots. It's like I'm picturing like some Terminator after her. Kelly Marie Tran, like going through the phone book. But dude, you have to look under Lone or Loanne, okay? Because you're just going to be killing all these Kelly Marie Trans. Remember, her real name is Loanne, okay? So the Russian bot who targeted Kelly Marie Tran, look under Loanne, okay? And by the way, Loanne, run! Anyway, I only say this because it's bullshit. Kelly Marie Tran, Loanne, I wish you all the best, okay? So moving on. And the latest one, this article here, and by the way, I'm going to try to leave that article about Russian bots targeting Kelly Marie Tran in the comment section, you know, but for now I'm talking about this other one, and this other one can be found on my old friends, The Root, my old friends. I used to talk about them way back in the day. They call themselves like geared towards black people, and you know, I don't know, man, it's all sensational, but or I should say sensationalism. But let me share this article, and I'm going to try my best to do this respectfully because there is a point that I'm trying to get across here to the person who wrote this article and the people who are reading that article and buying into what this guy is saying. So let me begin and try, Lord help me try to keep myself respectful while reading this. Okay? Amen! Alright, so it goes on, and you can find this on thegrapevine.theroot.com. And it starts, Darth MAGA, M-A-G-A, study. Darth MAGA, I don't even know, Make America Great Again, whatever the hell. Study reveals racist Star Wars fans mad about the black stormtrooper are Trump trolls and Russian bots. And this article is by Michael Harriot. It's like Marriott, but with an H. Michael Harriot. Okay, and it's filed to White Peopology. White Peopology. More about that later. Okay, let's start this. If you waded through the pile of trash, water damaged, right after being submerged in white tears, just beneath the damp, charred Nike remains, and shattered remnants of Keurig coffee makers, you might find some moist movie posters from Star Wars The Last Jedi. The paraphernalia probably won't be as soaked as the stuff from Star Wars The Force Awakens, which is still damp from the public outcry when they realized there might be black people in the future. Okay, what's your name again? Michael Harriot. You just messed up right there. Okay, see, you now right from the top, you're telling me that you're not a fan. Like, you know you fucked up, right? You know you did, right? You know you done fucked up, right? You know you did, Michael. You know you fucked up. Ha ha! You know you fucked up, right? But listen, like I said, right there, you exposed yourself. You're not a Star Wars fan. How do I know, you ask? Because you, my friend, in your futile attempt to be clever, you talk about, what is it? The paraphernalia probably won't be as soaked as the stuff from Star Wars The Force Awakens, which is still damped from the public outcry when they realized that there might be black people in the future. Now, Star Wars fans, you know what's wrong with that sentence, okay? But apparently, Michael Harriot does not, because he's not a Star Wars fan, which should disqualify him from writing this article. Now, Star Wars fans, what's wrong with that article? And Michael Harriot, I'll give you one last chance. What's wrong with this sentence? The paraphernalia probably won't be as soaked as the stuff from Star Wars The Force Awakens, which is still damp from the public outcry when they realize that there might be black people in the future. Michael Harriot, time's up. Okay, black people in the future. Listen, dude, one of the most famous phrases in Star Wars reads like this: a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Okay? So you talking about people being mad because there might be black people in the future? Right there, okay? A long time ago, okay? This is not in the future. Star Wars does not take place in the future. To you, in the uninitiated, it might seem futuristic, but that's if you judge it by here, where we are on Earth. But this is not on Earth, my friend. This is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. That's what you guys are not understanding, okay? This is escapist fantasy, all right? So you don't need to be trying to force your contemporary issues into Star Wars. Star Wars has nothing to do with our world and our planet and what we're doing here. Do you understand? Do you understand, Michael? Michael, do you understand? Okay? So right there, you disqualified yourself. But we're going to continue on anyway, all right? You get that one. While it seemed perfectly logical to cast a black man as a character who escaped from a futuristic slave ship who went back to destroy the Death Star plantation after people discovered that John Boyega, a black man, would star as a stormtrooper in the reboot of the iconic Star Wars franchise, there was outrage from white supremacist groups complaining about white genocide and wonder why there was a black man on the screen who didn't have a perm and wasn't even holding a can of Colt 45. Hold on a second. Is that the longest sentence ever? Or is that a paragraph? Like, holy shit, man. What? Okay. It appears to be a very long sentence, but there's so much wrong in this. Okay, let me see if I can do this one more time. I'm sorry, guys. This might take a while. While it seemed perfectly logical to cast a black man as a character who escaped from a futuristic slave ship who went back to destroy the Death Star plantation after people discovered that John Boyega, a black man, would star as a stormtrooper in the reboot of the iconic Star Wars franchise, there was outrage from white supremacist groups complaining about white genocide and wonder why there was a black man on the screen, who didn't have a perm and wasn't even holding a can of Colt 45. Holy shit, Michael. Oh my God. That was the worst written paragraph I think I've ever seen in my life. Dude, how do you qualify to write these articles? Oh shit, I said I was going to be respectful. All right, I take that back. Okay, listen, I take that back, seriously. But I kind of am wondering, you know what I mean? But you say here, casting a black man as a character. Now, by the way, when in this movie does Finn identify himself as black? Once again, we're talking about escapist fantasy. You're putting your racial hang-ups on a fictional character from a galaxy far, far away a long time ago. Try to free your mind, Michael. Please, try to free your mind. We're not talking about Earth. We're not talking about anything in Earth history. Certainly anything in American history, okay? Free your mind, okay? Imagination, my friend. All right, so you're identifying him as a black man when he didn't even identify himself as a black man. That's a fact. Okay, and if you can find anything in The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi, if you can find some moment where Finn identifies himself as a black man, please leave it in the comment section. Let me know, please. Please, I'm begging you, like, honestly, okay? And you say that he escaped from a futuristic slave ship. Was it a slave ship, my friend? Michael, was it a slave ship? Or did he escape from a star destroyer, or a star cruiser, or a battleship? It wasn't a slave ship, man. It wasn't, okay? And then you say he went back to destroy the Death Star plantation. What Death Star plantation? What the fuck are you talking about? Okay. Dialing it back. What are you talking about? All right, number one, There was no Death Star in this movie. Okay, wrong film. Okay, as a matter of fact, I think you're thinking more about Django Unchained. That's what it sounds like you're talking about to me. You know, you're confusing this movie with Django. Django, the D is silent. Okay, so anyway, yeah. So the futuristic slave ship, what is it? The Death Star plantation, You're wrong, dude. You're so wrong already. John Boyega, a black man, would star as a stormtrooper in the reboot of the iconic Star Wars franchise. There was outrage from white supremacist groups complaining about white genocide. I'd have to see some proof of that too. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know there was confusion because when I first saw the trailer or the teaser for The Force Awakens, I was wondering myself, why is this man in a stormtrooper outfit? You know what I mean? I'm thinking that the stormtroopers were all clones, and the stormtroopers are all supposed to look like another person of color, by the way. So it wasn't about not seeing a white man in there. It was about seeing the clone. It was about seeing, what was his name, guys? Leave it in the comment section, please. I'm sorry. But it was about seeing a clone. All right, so yeah, everyone was kind of taken aback by the fact that it was Finn. It was John Boyega. But for my money, I kind of assumed that maybe he was in disguise, you know, the way Han and Luke were in A New Hope. You know, so I was like, okay, hold on. There's probably a reason why he's a stormtrooper. Now, some people were put off by the fact that it was a black man in there. I'm not going to speak to that. I'm not going to say there was nobody who objected to it along racial lines. I can't speak for everybody, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to paint the whole fandom as white supremacists with a very, very broad, disgusting, insulting, offensive brush. And I can't let you do that. And I'll explain more why later. Okay, so it goes on. Oh yeah, and then you go on to say you were wondering why there was a black man on the screen who didn't have a perm and wasn't even holding a can of Colt 45. Dude, you don't even understand how that's disrespectful to Billy D. Williams, right? It's like Billy D. Williams is an icon. He's greatly respected in the Star Wars franchise by some of these people that you're calling white supremacists. He's very much endeared, all right? And then you insult the man by boiling him down to a black man with a perm holding a can of Colt 45. Okay, you couldn't just say it was Billy D. Williams. You couldn't just say it's Lando Calrissian. You had to put a stereotype on him. That way, you had to boil him down to being a stereotype. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, because obviously you're not going to see him on screen in Star Wars holding a can of Colt 45. That's something he did totally separate from the franchise. And guys, for those of you who are too young to remember, Billy D. Williams in his younger days was a pitchman for a malt liquor company called Colt 45. So he used to do these commercials where he was selling Colt 45, and you know, he was real smooth with the ladies. So, you know, he'd be drinking his Colt 45. The ladies would be getting all hyper, and you know, they'd be getting all hot. And he would look at the camera and he would say, Colt 45. Works every time. Billy D, my man. So that's what he's talking about. So he's insulting Billy D. Williams by, you know, remembering that he was a Colt 45 pitchman. So I don't know. Then it goes on, guys. But as it turns out, none of that ever happened. On Monday, Rian Johnson, who directed The Last Jedi, tweeted a link to a research paper by Dr. Morton Bay, a researcher for the Center of the Digital Future at USC Annenberg, specializing in media technology and communications policy, according to his LinkedIn profile. Sorry, guys. I need new contacts, man. I think my prescription is changing. That and the fact that I'm getting old. My eyes, they ain't what they used to be. Yeah, but I can see that ass. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, going on. Anyway, apparently, in what might be the greatest combination of geekdom and nerdism ever, Bay recently published a final draft of a research paper, Weaponizing the Haters, The Last Jedi and the Strategic Politicization of Pop Culture Through Social Manipulation. By the way, guys, Weaponizing the Haters. I wanted to make a point on the last video. Weaponizing the haters is another thing that we should, the radar should go up. Like, how are the fans being weaponized? Okay, how are the people who didn't like The Last Jedi being weaponized? Now, in the past, we've been called terrorists, but you have to keep an eye out for these little code words that they use, like weaponizing. Like I said before, this is something to be aware of, because if they're trying to silence people on this basic level of whether or not they like a movie, this is something that should be objected to every time you see it. Weaponizing the haters, that is some grade A, big time bullshit. You know what I mean? And I reject that notion. And I think every fan should reject that notion, whether or not you like the movie. Because remember, guys, everyone in the fandom should remember, if episode 9 comes out and you don't like it, even if you like The Last Jedi and love The Last Jedi, they are trying to take away our right to express it. So if you like The Last Jedi, that is fine. But in the next movie, episode 9, whatever it's going to be, I choose not to see it, that's cool. But if you choose to see it, that's cool. And if you don't like it, you can expect to get this. All right? So it's something to be aware of, guys. It's something to be very, very careful about. Okay, so going on. After researching the social media profiles of those who were so vehemently opposed to the Star Wars version of the Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner story, they discovered a few interesting things. After researching the social profiles of those who were so vehemently opposed to the Star Wars version of the Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner story, how the fuck is this the... Listen, how is The Last Jedi the Star Wars version of the Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner story? Please explain that to me. You're not explaining it. You're just throwing out bullshit at this point. This is insulting to everybody who studies so-called black history, who holds these things dear, who has pride in certain areas of black history. How is this the Star Wars version of the Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner story? Could you explain that to me? If anyone knows what this guy is talking about, put it in the comment section. I don't understand. Okay, I truly don't understand. And I do find it offensive that you would boil something like that down to an incident or incidents in black history where real people on a real planet in real time gave their lives for something that they believed in. Depending on how you feel about them, or I should say regardless of how you feel about them individually. But dude, you're losing me, man, and I'm truly for a reason trying to stay respectful here. But you are way out of line with that one. Did you even see the movie, Michael, Harriet? Did you even see the movie? If you did, I invite you to explain. Draw me the parallels of how The Last Jedi or The Force Awakens was the equivalent of the Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner story. Okay, I'm inviting you, please. Wow. Okay, where is it? Where am I? Scrolling on its own. Okay. After researching the social media profiles of those who were so vehemently opposed to the Star Wars version of the Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner story, they discussed... You would think that you would have a few more black people in the movie for you to make that claim, by the way. Okay, they discovered a few interesting things. Most people liked the movie. Although there were numerous stories about how fans were dissatisfied with The Last Jedi, only 1 in 5, 21.9% of the tweets about the film were negative. And that's the reason why there was such a huge, unprecedented drop-off the following weekend after it opened. Because the vast majority of people just loved it. Okay, dude. Did you even do your homework on this? Or are you just, like, parroting other people's talking points? I'm really wondering. I truly am. I'm inviting you to do your own research, please, before you mislead the masses this way. Most of the haters were trolls and bots. 50.9% of the negative tweets were politically motivated or not even human. Once again, mimicking what somebody else said without even doing your own research. Some were sock puppets. Many of the accounts were dormant accounts or seemed to be computer generated right before the movie came out. There were a lot of MAGA trolls. Almost a third of tweets came from accounts who retweeted Trump or tweeted negatively about gays, feminists, blacks, and of course, the Jews. Once again, providing no example, no proof. By the way, being a Trump supporter does not make you evil. Being a Trump supporter doesn't negate your opinion about anything. Okay, we're talking about politics. People have a right to their politics. They have a right to believe what they believe. I don't get on here talking about my political beliefs just because people like you will try to paint me into a corner. It's irrelevant. We're talking about a movie. I don't care if you like Trump. I don't care if you like Obama. I don't care if you like anybody. I don't care if you like fucking Bozo the Clown. It doesn't matter. We're talking about the movie, okay? Let's get that straight, by the way. We've danced around this too much in this country. We wasted way too much time trying to demonize people for their politics. Fuck that. Let's just concentrate on each relevant issue and stop looking around the issue and talking about, oh, you voted for Trump, so that means this issue right here you don't have a right to, or you must be wrong about. Guys, we're being seriously manipulated, man, and it sucks. It really, really sucks. And there were Russian bots. About half of the negative trolls appear to be Russian trolls, or at least possess several of the Russian troll characteristics, the paper explains. I gotta wrap this up, this is going on too long. First and foremost, Bay's paper concluded the data does not support claims that a majority of fans are dissatisfied with The Last Jedi, that they wish to boycott further Star Wars releases under Disney ownership. Well, I guess we'll fucking find out about that next year, won't we? Okay? So you can say what you want right now, but next year we'll find out. As if we didn't already know this, whenever something begins trending on Twitter, always remember that this is, in reality, a small, albeit vocal minority who have nothing better to do with their lives than whine about how their Starbucks barista won't say Merry Christmas, or complain that Target allows transgender people to use whichever bathroom they choose. Aside from the fact that taking a dump at Target means by definition you literally have bigger shit to worry about, everyone knows that white boycotts are toothless. Bro, what are you doing? Like, seriously, man, what are you doing? All right, wait, let me finish this. Hopefully, Bay can focus on some important research, like how people manage to burn shoes made out of leather and rubber, or why this woman can't pronounce coochie. And then he has some type of link here that has nothing to do with anything, and it says, "May the Force be with you." And then he goes on to identify himself. Michael Harriot, world-renowned white peopleologist, never, or I should say getter and doer of it, never reneged, never will, last real niggas alive. Okay, so white peopleologist. Okay, so white peopleologist is spelled W-Y-P-O-P-O-L-O-G-I-S-T. All right, because I guess the slang word he's building off of is white people. So, in other words, you study white people, Michael. Listen, Michael, why don't you study yourself? Why don't you begin by studying yourself? And this is what burns me up about this bullshit, man. It's like I get on this camera because I want people to understand there's a different narrative, there's a different perspective than what these twisted people are trying to put out there. I've been a Star Wars fan for my entire life. I didn't like The Last Jedi, all right? I don't like the direction that Disney Lucasfilm is taking these films. But would you spotlight people like me? Because I'm not the only one, Michael Harriot, okay? As you can see, I'm not white, I'm not a white supremacist, I'm not alt-right, okay? And I don't talk about my politics, so don't put that Trump, Obama bullshit on me, okay? I'm talking about a movie right now. But see, you don't want to focus on your people, your so-called people. You don't want to focus on so-called black people. You want to focus on white people. All right, I am far from the only one. You could have talked to me. You could have. It's easy to find any one of us on YouTube. Okay, if you're not looking, if you don't see me, that's fine. Maybe you will see another YouTuber called Abu Nas. Maybe you'll see another YouTuber called Damajanai. Maybe you'll see all of the people in our comment section who are black people, who are fans, lifelong fans of Star Wars, who feel the way that I feel. Maybe you'll find some women. Maybe you'll find another YouTube channel called That Star Wars Girl. Maybe you'll find a Mexican brother named Ivan Ortega. There's a wide variety of people who watched that movie and had a problem with it, who have been articulating it quite well. All right, but you don't want to look at that because you're so busy studying white people. White people. I would expect that from a closeted racist slug like Ryan Johnson or even J.J. Abrams. But you, Michael Harriot, if you're going to have a platform, I would expect better from you. I would expect you to look into the other side of it before you start pigeonholing everybody and acting like I don't exist and all of the other people that I just named don't exist. That makes you worse. That makes you worse because you have a platform. And you choose to not do your own thing with your platform. You choose not to do your own thinking and your own research, but you're going to parrot somebody else. That's what hurts, because you have a chance to tell the truth, but you choose to just mindlessly go along with what somebody else is saying, and you put it out there like it's fact. Why would you do that? Why would you ignore the people who are right in front of your face? Why would you ignore the people who are diverse, the people who don't fit into the sick narrative that these people are putting out there? I know why. Because people like me might tell you that not only are you wrong about me, but you're also wrong about the other fans, the so-called white people out there who don't fit your narrative. I'm not saying that there aren't racist people that are out there. I've seen it in my comment section. But you know what I've seen a lot more of? I've seen a lot more of white people who have wished my son a happy birthday, who have wished my sister a happy move-in day for her house last week. People who have wished me a happy birthday. People who have wished other YouTubers get well when they're sick. This is a community. Almost called you a name, but I'm staying respectful. I hope you appreciate it, because I could easily go that way for what you've done. Michael Harriet, I'm just challenging you to tell the truth, the whole truth. Okay? I'm saying don't focus on the negative so much. All right? I'm not here to debate whether or not there are racists in the fandom. What I'm saying is, why don't you tell the whole truth as somebody who is in the position that you're in?